My child, listen closely to me. I need your attention right now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel stronger, not when the noise quiets down. Right now. Because there are voices that decided your story was finished. They looked at your silence, your delay, your exhaustion, and they came to a conclusion without consulting me. They thought you were done. And for a moment, if you're honest, you wondered if they were right. Don't scroll past this. Don't treat this like another message. I am speaking directly to you, and what I am about to remind you of will shift how you see yourself in this season. I saw the moment they stopped expecting anything from you. I heard the conversations you weren't in. I noticed the way they measured your worth by what you produced, how fast you healed, how loud your progress looked. They assumed that because you pulled back, because you went quiet, because you chose survival over performance, that your purpose expired. But my child, I never called an intermission an ending. What looked like disappearance was preparation. What looked like weakness was restraint. What looked like delay was me protecting what I was still forming. I need you to understand this before you go any further. If this message is speaking to your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video as a sign of agreement. Comment so your faith has a voice. Share this with 3 people who need to be reminded they are not finished. Hype this message and subscribe, not for numbers, but because alignment matters when I am calling you back into remembrance. This is not content. This is confirmation. They thought you were done because they couldn't see me working. They mistook my silence for absence. They assumed that because I didn't explain myself to them, I had stopped moving in you. But I do my deepest work away from the spotlight. I build roots before I reveal fruit. I strengthen backs before I add weight. And I will never rush what must last. You were not buried. You were planted. And planted things don't look impressive until suddenly they break the surface. I know you've been carrying the weight of other people's expectations. I know how heavy it feels to be underestimated, to be counted out, to be remembered only for an old version of yourself. But hear me clearly. I did not allow you to survive everything you survived just to let you fade away unnoticed. I did not teach your hands how to endure if I wasn't preparing them to build again. I am not finished writing with you, and I do not abandon my work halfway through. So breathe, my child. Let your heart slow down. This message is not here to excite you for a moment. It is here to wake something up that tried to go dormant. You are still here because I am still involved. They may have closed the book on you, but I am the author, and I haven't reached the final chapter. Stay with me. This is only the beginning of what I am about to remind you of. My child, I see you. Not the version of you that people judged, labeled, or reduced to a moment in time, but the real you, the one who kept breathing when it would have been easier to give up. I saw you when no one checked on you. I saw you when encouragement ran dry and strength had to be borrowed from faith instead of feelings. I was there in the quiet nights when your thoughts were louder than your prayers, when you questioned if you still mattered, when you wondered if your best days were already behind you. I know the season you've been walking through. I know how long it's been. I know how many times you told yourself, just make it through today. I watched you show up while feeling empty. I watched you smile while carrying grief no one could see. I counted every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed they were there. And I want you to hear this clearly. Your struggle did not disqualify you. It revealed your endurance. Others only saw the outside. They saw the pause and assumed you lost momentum. They saw your distance and thought you disconnected. They saw your silence and believed you had nothing left to say. But I saw the internal war. I saw you fighting to hold on to faith while your circumstances tried to strip it from you. I saw you choosing not to harden your heart, even when disappointment gave you every excuse to. That choice mattered to me. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where I allowed you to be for a reason I am still unfolding. When you felt unseen, I was closest. When you felt misunderstood, I understood you completely. When you felt like you were barely surviving, I was quietly sustaining you. I never lost sight of you, not for a moment. I know you questioned yourself. I know you replayed old conversations in your mind. I know you wondered if you should have done more, said more, did more. But my child, I never asked you to prove yourself to people who couldn't see what I placed inside you. I never required you to perform through pain. I asked you to trust me in the dark, and even when your trust felt fragile, you still held on to me. That matters more than you realize. You didn't imagine the pressure. You didn't exaggerate the weight. What you carrying was real, but so with the grace I gave you to carry it. And you didn't fail because you slowed down. You didn't lose because you rested. You didn't fall behind because you healed. Healing is not weakness. Rest is not quitting. Survival is not shameful. Sometimes obedience looks like staying alive when everything in you feels tired. I am not disappointed in you. I am not distant from you. I am not surprised by where you are. I know your name. I know your heart. I know the strength you don't even recognize in yourself yet. And as you listen to me now, let this truth settle deep within you. You are still chosen, still held, still seen, and still very much a part of what I am doing next. My child, let me reveal something you need to understand clearly, because confusion has been trying to sit where truth belongs. Human conclusions are not divine conclusions. What people decide in a moment, I oversee across seasons. They looked at your pause and called it failure. They looked at your delay and called it defeat. But I never agreed with their verdict. When they said, "It's over," I said, "I'm not done." You must stop interpreting silence as rejection. I am not loud in every season, but I am always present. I do not explain myself to spectators. I speak to hearts that trust me. When it felt like nothing was happening, I was rearranging what you couldn't see. When you thought you were falling behind, I was keeping you from moving too early. Delay is not denial when I am the one guiding your steps. Here is the truth they missed. I often pull my children away before I bring them forward. I remove you from noise before I increase your influence. I strip distractions before I release clarity. What looked like oscillation was actually protection. What felt like stagnation was alignment. I was teaching you to hear me without applause, to trust me without evidence, to stand without approval. That kind of preparation cannot be rushed. You thought something was wrong with you because things slowed down. But nothing was wrong. You were being refined. Fire doesn't destroy what I have called. It reveals it. Pressure doesn't erase purpose. It exposes it. And what you survived did not weaken you. It trained you. I was strengthening your discernment, deepening your roots, and maturing your faith so you would not crumble when elevation comes. Do not mistake this season as the end of your story. It was a turning point. I was closing chapters that could no longer hold where I am taking you. Some doors had to shut quietly so you wouldn't keep trying to return to what I already outgrew you from. You weren't losing anything essential. You were being positioned for something truer. Now hear me carefully, because this revelation is not only for you. It is meant to reach others who feel the same weight, the same doubt, the same fear of being forgotten. My child, this is where I invite you into something sacred. If this word is lighting something alive inside you, let it become a river, not a reservoir. I am saying to you now, when you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are placing seed into ground that reaches wounded hearts I am calling back to life. As my word says, I give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, and I am speaking that promise over you personally right now. I see your desire to help, and I am telling you plainly, this is me inviting you. Your giving becomes oil that keeps this light burning, fire that reaches souls you may never meet. The PayPal donation link is waiting for you in the video description, and I have made it simple with a QR code on the screen. Do not hesitate when obedience is knocking. I bless what you release, and I multiply it back to you in ways only I can. Now act, my child, and let this seed speak beyond you. My child, I need to gently correct something that has been shaping the way you see yourself. You have been measuring your life by opinions I never authorized. You have been carrying words that did not come from me, replaying judgments that were never mine. I say this with love, not disappointment. Stop letting voices that never knew your assignment define your worth. Stop agreeing with conclusions spoken by people who were never given sight into your future. You gave their words more weight than my promises, and I understand why. Rejection stings. Being misunderstood hurts. Being underestimated leaves marks that linger. But I did not ask you to build your identity on applause or approval. I asked you to build it on my voice. And when you listen too closely to those who doubted you, you begin to doubt me by accident. That is what I am correcting now. You cannot keep revisiting places I already led you out of. You cannot keep explaining yourself to people who decided not to understand you. You cannot keep shrinking your faith to make others comfortable. Every time you try to prove your value, you step out of the rest I offered you. I never required you to defend the process I chose for you. I require you to trust it. I also need to correct how harsh you have been with yourself. You called yourself weak when I called you human. You called yourself slow when I called you careful. You called yourself broken when I called you healing. You spoke to yourself in ways I never would. And I am asking you now to stop partnering with that voice. I am not correcting you to shame you. I am correcting you to free you. Hear me clearly. You did not fail because you needed time. You did not miss me because you paused. You did not lose ground because you rested. I led you there. I allowed that season. And I am not going to apologize for the way I shaped you through it. Everything you needed, I supplied. Everything you survived, I permitted for growth, not for harm. But now I am redirecting you. I am asking you to stop looking backward for validation. Stop replaying moments you wish you could change. Stop trying to rewrite chapters I already redeemed. What I am about to do in you requires clarity, not comparison. It requires obedience, not overthinking. It requires trust, not constant evaluation of how it looks to others. I am your father. When I correct you, it is because I see what is ahead and I love you too much to let you stay stuck in a smaller view of yourself. I am not rushing you, but I am leading you forward. And forward means letting go of voices that kept you small. Forward means laying down the habit of self-criticism. Forward means believing me even when your feelings hesitate. Let this correction settle gently, not defensively. I am not taking anything from you. I am removing what was weighing you down. I am not silencing you. I am tuning you back to me. And as you release the need to be understood by everyone, you will finally feel the peace of being known by me. My child, Come closer and let me speak strength back into places that have grown tired. I know how weary you've been. I know the kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. I know the fatigue that settles in your spirit after you've carried more than you ever said out loud. And I want you to know this. You are not still standing because you are strong enough. You are still standing because I have been holding you the entire time. There were moments you felt like you had nothing left to give, yet you kept going. It wasn't willpower. It was grace. There were days you thought you would collapse under the weight, yet you endured. It wasn't luck. It was me supplying what you lacked. You did not survive by accident. You were sustained on purpose. I see how you've questioned your own strength. You wondered why things that once felt easy now require effort. You wondered why joy feels quieter, why confidence feels fragile, why hope sometimes feels like work. But my child, growth changes how weight feels. What you are carrying now is heavy because it is greater. And I would never place something in your hands without also strengthening your grip. You are not behind because you feel tired. You are not weak because you need rest. Even I commanded rest, not as a reward but as wisdom. Strength does not always roar. Sometimes strength whispers, "Stay." Sometimes it simply breathes and chooses not to quit. And that is exactly what you have been doing. I want to remind you who you are when fear tries to rename you. You are resilient, even when you feel fragile. You are courageous, even when your voice shakes. You are faithful, even when your questions are loud. I am not measuring you by how confident you appear. I am measuring you by how deeply you trust me in the middle of uncertainty. You are not alone in this season. I have not stepped back. I have not grown silent out of distance. I am close to the broken-hearted, close to the tired, close to the ones who keep showing up with trembling hands. I am strengthening you from the inside out, building endurance you will soon understand the purpose of. Let your heart rest here for a moment. You do not need to prove anything to me. You do not need to hurry healing. You do not need to force clarity. I am not asking you to run ahead. I'm asking you to lean into me and let me be your strength where yours runs thin. Even now, I'm renewing you. Not always in ways you can feel, but in ways that will matter. I am steadying your mind. I am anchoring your heart. I am restoring courage quietly, the way roots grow deep before branches rise. You will not burn out in my care. You will not break under what I allow. I am with you, and because I am with you, you will have what you need for every step ahead. My child, now I speak to you with promise, not possibility. What I begin, I complete. I do not abandon my work halfway, and I do not forget the seeds I have planted in you. You may feel uncertain about the timing, but my timing has never been careless. I am deliberate, faithful, and exact. Everything unfolding in your life is moving according to purpose, not chance. I know you've asked me when. When will it make sense? When will it change? When will the waiting end? And I want you to hear me gently. Waiting is not wasted when you are waiting with me. I am not withholding good from you. I'm aligning you with it. Some blessings require maturity to sustain them, and I have been preparing you so what I give you will not break you. I promise you this, nothing you trusted me with was lost. Nothing you surrendered was ignored. Nothing you endured was unseen. I am a keeper of promises, not only the ones written, but the ones I whispered to your heart when you were too afraid to say them out loud. I remember every prayer you prayed in faith and every one you prayed in desperation. I was listening to both. There is restoration ahead that will not look like the past. I am not taking you backward to relive what once was. I am leading you forward into something deeper, stronger, and truer. What I restore, I refine. What I elevate, I establish. And when I bring you into the next season, you will recognize why the former one had to end the way it did. Trust me here. Trust me when the process feels slow. Trust me when the outcome feels distant. Obedience in uncertainty is precious to me. Patience when you could walk away honors me. And faith that remains when answers are delayed is never forgotten. I am not testing you to exhaust you. I am shaping you to carry what is coming. I promise to guide your steps. You will not miss what is meant for you. You will not arrive too late. I am ordering your path even when you cannot see beyond the next step. Lean into me, not into your understanding. Let me handle what you cannot control. Let me open doors no one can shut, and close doors you no longer need to walk through. There will come a moment when you look back and realize I was faithful in ways you did not recognize at the time. You will see how I protected you from paths that looked good but were not aligned. You will understand why some things took longer. And when that moment comes, your heart will rest in the assurance that I was always working for your good. So hold on, my child. Not in fear, but in trust. My promises are not fragile. They do not expire. And they do not depend on human approval. They depend on me. And I am faithful. My child, now is the moment where I ask you to respond, not with perfection, but with faith. Everything I have reminded you of was not meant to stay in your mind alone. It is meant to move into your spirit and awaken your steps. You have listened long enough. You have reflected long enough. Now I am calling you to rise on the inside, even if nothing around you has changed yet. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to trust me with the next step. Faith is not knowing the whole path. It is choosing to move while holding my hand. Release the fear that says you must be ready before you move. Readiness is not something you achieve alone. It is something I form as you walk with me. This is where you lay down what has been heavy. Lay down the disappointment you've been carrying quietly. Lay down the shame that never belonged to you. Lay down the fear of being seen again, of hoping again, of believing again. You don't need to protect yourself from me. I am not asking you to expose wounds to be hurt again. I'm asking you to bring them to me so I can heal them properly. Pray again, even if the words feel simple. Trust again, even if your heart feels cautious. Step forward again, even if your knees tremble. Courage does not mean fear is gone. Courage means you move with me despite it. And I am with you now, closer than you feel, more involved than you realize. Let this be the moment you stop rehearsing what went wrong and start agreeing with what I am doing now. Let this be the moment you choose faith over familiarity. Staying where you are may feel safer, but I did not create you to remain stuck. I created you to grow, to stretch, to walk into what I have prepared for you. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too uncertain. I do not wait for perfect conditions to call my children forward. I move in willingness. I move in surrender. I move in hearts that say, I don't have it all together, but I trust you anyway. So take a breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. Let your spirit unclench. You don't need to force anything. Simply say yes in your heart. Yes to trust. Yes to obedience. Yes to the process. Yes to the future I am still shaping for you. This is not about rushing ahead. It is about aligning with me. When you move with me, you will find peace even in motion. You will find clarity one step at a time. And you will find strength rising where fear once lived. I am calling you out of survival mode and into purposeful movement. You are not walking alone. Every step you take toward me, I match with grace. Stay open. Stay willing. Stay with me. What comes next will not be carried by your strength alone, but by my presence walking with you. My child, let your heart be still with me now. Everything you have heard was not meant to rush you, but to settle you. You were never finished. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned in the middle of your story. What others misread as your ending was simply me writing in a quieter ink. And now, I want you to leave this moment with peace, not pressure. You don't have to defend yourself anymore. You don't have to explain the season you walked through. You don't have to prove that you're still capable, still chosen, still called. I already know. And what I know about you matters more than what anyone else assumed. I am the one who speaks life, and when I speak, my words stand. Carry this truth with you. Silence did not cancel your purpose. Delay did not erase your calling. Rest did not disqualify you. I was with you in every unseen moment, and I will be with you in every visible one ahead. You are walking forward now with wisdom you didn't have before, depth you couldn't have gained any other way, and strength that was formed under pressure. As you go, let peace guard your mind. Not the peace that comes from having all the answers, but the peace that comes from trusting me with the outcome. I will guide you step by step. I will open what needs to open. I will close what needs to close. You don't need to rush. You just need to remain with me. And before you leave this space, I ask you to seal this moment. Like this video as an act of agreement. Comment to declare that you receive what I have spoken. Share this with 3 people who need to hear that they are not done. Subscribe and hype this message so my word can reach those who feel counted out. This is not about a channel. It is about alignment, testimony, and light spreading where darkness tried to linger. My child, as this message settles, I am inviting you into something that echoes beyond this moment. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not giving to a platform. You are sowing into lives I am reaching right now. I am telling you plainly, this is me speaking. When you release seed into this ground, it becomes a river that carries my word to weary hearts. Just as I promised that those who sow generously will reap generously, I am speaking that blessing over you personally. Your obedience opens doors, your giving releases light, and your seed does not return empty. The PayPal donation link is in the video description, and I have made it visible through a QR code so you can act without delay. Do not hesitate when I am calling you to move. Obedience in this moment is prophetic. Now rest, my child. Lift your head. The story is still unfolding, and I am still writing. Walk forward in peace, knowing this truth will remain. They thought you were done, but I had only just begun.